Black Mirror has long been one of my favourite shows that's ever been made. In fact, it was the very show that got me to create this channel, and at that point in time, it was 2016, Season 3 had just dropped on Netflix, and I actually quite liked the direction that the platform took the show in. There was this blend of the Channel 4 era with real, raw, original stories like Nosedive, Playtest, and San Junipero, where not only was it about the interesting piece of technology that was set in the not-so-distant future that was at the heart of the story, but there was also a clear insight into how it had impacted society, and we got to witness the downfall and demise of the main characters due to the way that society had been impacted. I used to describe the ending of a Black Mirror episode as being gut-punching. In fact, it became eponymous as I started calling it that Black Mirror feeling. But slowly over time, that punch got softer and softer, until most recently, where I departed episodes in Season 6 feeling like there'd been barely any impact at all. The likes of Maisie Day, Rachel, Jack and Ashley 2, and even Joan is Awful. The commentary on society through the lens that Charlie Brooker used to use seemed to have been sidelined, and the weight of the controversy that was overshadowing the show with the fight for IP may have caused the writing to have been compromised. I don't know. But with the show getting bigger and bigger, and Netflix just demanding more and more, the ideas were weakening. Black Mirror isn't a show that I feel can be demanded. It's powerful because it has something to say at the right time. If you treat it like everything else, the message just gets diluted. However, after watching the trailer for Season 7, I think the success or failings of it will most definitely dictate the direction that the show goes in. So with the release of the trailer, I thought I'd take a look at all of the individual episodes, the synopsis for them all, and see if this season is going to bring the show back to its roots. So let's get into it. Here is Can Season 7 Save Black Mirror? Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers on the previous episodes. This won't be in any particular order because, as it's an anthology, they can be watched in any way whatsoever. Eulogy. Now, based on the trailer and the synopsis, I actually think this could be the episode that ends up being my favourite of the 6. It seems to have the core emotions and feelings that a Black Mirror episode can exhibit at the heart of it. It's simplistic in terms of its cast, approach, and technology, and it really reminds me of a blend of Season 2 Episode 1's Be Right Back and Season 1 Episode 3's The Entire History of You. Two of my favourite episodes because they're arguably some of the most emotional ones because of the relatability. Loss and yearning to be with somebody that's no longer around, and paranoia and being cheated on. The synopsis for the episode is, an isolated man is introduced to a groundbreaking system that allows its users to literally step inside old photographs, stirring powerful emotions in the process. Judging by the synopsis and the clips from the trailers, I think Paul Giamatti's character is going to have lost a loved one, or maybe somebody that he once cared for in his past, and he's going to be turning to this piece of technology to be able to spend his time with the person that he's mourning. In terms of technology, I think this is such a cool concept, and I feel like we often see AI videos of photos coming to life being shown to us in videos. But by the person actually being able to step into the environment of a photo and being able to be with the subject of the photographs, that sounds like a piece of technology that could really mess with your head, especially if you're in mourning. It's dangerous living in the past, and being able to step into a photograph will enable you to do exactly that. There was a line that Paul Giamatti's character said, which was, "I'd have listened," to which somebody responded by saying, "And you'd have heard her?" And then he said, "Yes, I would," whilst looking like he was extremely emotional. Something which in itself felt quite powerful. I think he's going to get caught up in trying to right a wrong and a mistake in a relationship which can't be fixed because the person that he's looking to be with won't exist in reality anymore. So this definitely has the potential to be a strong one for sure. Hotel Reverie. This is an episode that I feel has the potential to be a strong one too, and to sit up there with some of the best the show has made. It looks like there's going to be a piece of technology called Redream, where a movie is able to be made in real time based on what's going on inside of your head, or maybe by the script that you've been given. Considering that this is set during the remake of a movie, I'm guessing it's based on the script. However, apart from the main actor in the movie, it seems like everybody else in the cast is going to be AI. What I think this will tackle in the Black Mirror sphere is the impact that AI could have on the movie industry, but also the moral complex of what defines a life, as it seems like there's going to be a complex where the AI actors and characters are going to think that they're real, because I suppose in that exact moment, their environment is real for them. So I think that will be a dilemma that will get explored. The director even said they think this is real to them, so their existence is something that's definitely going to be at the heart of the story. The synopsis for this episode is: a high-tech, unusually immersive remake of a vintage British film sends Hollywood A-list star Brandy Friday into another dimension. A dimension where she must stick to the script if she ever wants to make it back home. With it seeming like there's an emphasis on sticking to the script in order to make it home, that makes me think that Brandy Friday might gain a soft spot for the AI characters and sympathize with them, which will show that the bridge between what makes a life and that being a human might not be what defines it is something that could be thrown into question. So I feel this could be a powerful and an emotional one too. Common People. This is an episode which stars Chris O'Dowd and Rashida Jones as a couple where it seems like the wife is going to be in a life-threatening condition, but a piece of technology called Rivermind Lux will be implanted within her brain, which will give her the ability to survive and live her life as she would have done if she didn't get into the accident. However, what it seems like will be the catch is that the company will be able to run ads through her, and that could be the cost. Something that will bring to light and hone in on just how intrusive ads can be. The synopsis for the episode is: when a medical emergency leaves schoolteacher Amanda fighting for her life, her desperate husband Mike signs her up for Rivermind, a high-tech system that will keep her alive, but at a cost. Ads are everywhere, and they have been for a long time. If you look around, there's ads on billboards, bus stops, playing on the radio, on social media every few scrolls, and we've almost become numb to just how many ads we're served in a day. So by creating a system that allows somebody to survive and a version of them breaking out into ads every so often, I think it will bring to light just how in your face they can be. Judging by the system, it seems like Amanda's brain functionality is able to be dictated by a scroll bar on the platform, which means that she could well be a shell of herself, and this technology is what not only keeps her alive, but it could also be providing artificial feelings too. With emotions and feelings being fake and ads being spoken every so often, I imagine Mike isn't going to recognize his wife after a while, and he could realize that he's made a walking advertisement and his wife is no longer inside there. It's reminiscent of Be Right Back, where Martha didn't recognize her dead partner in the synthetic version that was there, despite all of his personality being uploaded from social media and it looking like him. I reckon this could be a good one. Bete Noire. Out of all of the episodes, this is the one that I think has the most potential to be a divisive one, and maybe one of the least memorable ones. I still think the quality of the episode looks higher than most of what we got in the past couple of seasons, but it's probably the one that I'm least excited about, but probably the most intrigued by, because it's the most difficult one to decipher what could be happening. The synopsis for this episode is: confectionery whiz kid Maria is unnerved when her former schoolmate Verity joins the company she works at because there's something altogether odd about Verity, something only Maria seems to notice. To be honest, the title of the episode means something or a person that you dislike, so it feels like Maria's distaste for Verity is going to be at the heart of the episode for sure. It seems like it's going to climax with the both of them fighting and Maria holding Verity at gunpoint whilst the police try to arrest her. But honestly, I have no idea how we're going to end up at that point. There were lines in the trailer like, she's changing things, meaning that Verity was messing with Maria's life. And we know that Verity was from Maria's past as they went to the same school together. So I wonder if Maria was once a bully or caused problems for Verity, and now she's set on destroying her life. Plaything. This episode is the one that's connected to Bandersnatch because we've got the character Colin Ridman and Mohan Thakur appearing. This one looks like it's going to be split between two different time periods, one in 1994 and another 20 years later in 2034. Cameron Walker is set to be played by Peter Capaldi, who's going to be suspected of murder, but we're likely going to be seeing how he created this game which contained these animals that held life and impacted his mind, and just how his obsession drove him to murder. The synopsis for the episode is: in a near-future London, an eccentric murder suspect is linked to an unusual video game from the 1990s, a game populated by cute, evolving, artificial life forms. As the trailer went on, we saw that Cameron was getting more and more pleased at these animals evolving, duplicating, and seeming like they were communicating with him. He said the line, "Humans consider artificial life to be less than them." So it seems like he's definitely going to be getting obsessed with the game that he created and valuing the life within it. The animals were getting destroyed and he was getting stressed out and impacted by it. So the loss that he's going to be experiencing could drive him to murder. Colin Ridman wanted the game to be about death, so what if Cameron kills Colin Ridman because he doesn't want the creatures to die because he's grown to care for them? That could be what this scene is here. USS Callister into Infinity. Now, when I first heard that Black Mirror were doing a sequel, I was a bit concerned, because in a world where everything has to be connected, remade, or get sequels, Black Mirror had always taken pride in the fact that every episode was in isolation, apart from the odd Easter egg and Black Museum. However, USS Callister is an exception, because I think this is one of the only times it'll work. USS Callister was one of the strongest and most memorable episodes that Black Mirror ever made, and it feels like this new sequel is going to almost be like a battle royale type game where it's them against many other users. We know before that these characters were set on surviving and they felt like they were their own sentient beings, so I feel like that whole dilemma is something that's going to be explored again, but this time even more. The synopsis for the episode is, Robert Daly is dead, but now the crew of USS Callister, led by Captain Annette Cole, are stranded in an infinite virtual universe, fighting for survival against 30 million players. This is probably going to be one of the most memorable episodes due to the fact that the story is already familiar, the cast is star-studded, and most of the crew are returning from when they were in the show in Season 4. My conclusion. Honestly, I think this season has the potential to be the best season of the show that we've had since Season 3. I did like parts of Season 4, but I don't think it was the most well-balanced. We've now gone back to 6 episodes, which is something that I'm over the moon about. None of those 3 or 5 episodes like the previous 2 seasons gave us. As well, I'd say the emotions in the episodes look like they're going to be running high due to the relatability, and it seems like artificial intelligence and advertising are what are going to be the 2 key themes of the season that could bleed through all of the episodes. I'm more excited for a season of Black Mirror than I've been in years, so bring it on. So, there you have it. Can Season 7 save Black Mirror? If you want to see every episode of Black Mirror from Season 1 to Season 6 being broken down and ranked, then click on the card in the top corner. It'll be up there. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future videos. Are you looking forward to Season 7? Share your thoughts in the comments. As always, thanks for tuning into the video and I'll see you in the next one.